We are live.
We're live.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the iFilmmaker podcast. My name is Ariel Martinez. Today, Mr. Sabertelli is not with us. He's quite busy. He's been rubbing it in my face lately. So I said, you know what? You're not on iFilmmaker anymore. I don't want you anymore. Just kidding. No, he's just very, very busy, guys. But today we have Mr. Gomez. We have Mr. Gomez. Fernando, Fernando, you were with us on the, I don't know which number.
I was at one of your early episodes. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like episode number 2 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
2 or 3.
Back in the early days.
For those of you that are joining us live, Mr. Bobby Hicks says, found another new angle. Yeah, now I have my camera over to my right side right now. Which is definitely different. So yeah, Bobby Hicks is joining us live, as the rest of you should be doing, because we are doing this live on the YouTube channel over at the iFilmmaker YouTube page. Go and check that out. If you're not subscribed, go and do that. Turn on those notifications. Make sure that you're getting subscribed. You're getting notified whenever we go live, because as you can see, it is very sporadic. We never know when this is going to happen. So we're actually a little bit late today. Fernando was busy with his
my fault
upgrades and all the Apple
just blame me
installations. So thank you for everyone that's joining us live. I see several of you are tuning in live. Chat box is open. Start chatting away. I guess we'll continue.
Let's do it.
So, man, it's been a while. You got yourself in preparation to start coming on the show, to start doing some episodes with us. You got yourself a little, what is it? The Rode.
Got myself a little treat. Yeah, the Rode NTC USB mic.
NTC?
It's the.
I thought it was the USB.
I think that's the name. NTC. Let me see.
Is it NTC?
NT USB. Sorry, that's the official name. Rode NT USB mic.
NT USB. Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, it sounds great. Now we got to get you a camera.
No, can't wait till my GH5 comes in.
Maybe a little light over there. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I gotta set up my lights.
All right. So recently, we went on a little rendezvous shoot over at South Beach, where I took my FS5, Deborah, and had my Shogun Inferno all rigged out. If you follow me on social media, Instagram, you would see the images there. And if you don't, it's your fault. And we were shooting some ProRes RAW footage, which, spoiler alert, we will have that stuff for you in the show notes. We have a whole Dropbox thing ready for you guys to download some footage for you guys to see, but I'll give you more instructions on that later. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was very windy, as you could expect from shooting in South Beach. What do you think, man? So you're not a full-time freelancer. You work full-time.
I am not. Yes, I do work full-time. I freelance when I can, as much as I can. And but my goal is to get there, not that I don't enjoy my full-time job, but the goal is to be able to, work on
good cover up in case they were hearing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Just hi, boss. But no, my goal is to, basically everyone just pretty much wants to be their own boss, and be able to make their own schedule and run their business the way they want. And I think that's what I'm striving for slowly. But eventually I'll get there.
Yeah, and I've been pushing you, so
I know. It's been pretty good lately. I've had a couple of nice little gigs. I usually, since I do work full time, I can't really go out and shoot during the middle of the week, so most of my gigs end up being some sort of post-production gig, some sort of editing or motion graphics, color work, that type of stuff, which I enjoy. But I've been itching to get back behind a camera for a while.
Yeah, man. You gotta get that going. Got to do it now before you have kids, because you're married, but you don't have kids. It's gonna be a lot harder if you try to do that later.
Not planning that anytime soon, though. But yeah, but no, I agree.
Yeah. So I know you were having issues getting the whole Final Cut downloaded and all that. Were you able to see any of that footage?
Yeah, I actually pulled out one shot and I was trying to play with it now. I couldn't tell what shot I was picking out, but let me see if I could share my
Yeah,
screen.
that's interesting because this ProRes RAW stuff, you can't see the thumbnail or anything like that until you import it into the editor. Until
Right.
you import it into Final Cut.
Yeah. I wonder, I haven't tried, well, I
Which is
wouldn't be able to.
annoying.
I was about to say, let me try like bringing it up in Media Encoder or something, but it doesn't work with Adobe yet. So.
It does that. Adobe doesn't have a license to manage or handle that footage.
Apple doesn't have like some sort of like previewer, right? Sort of like encoder or like Prelude or something.
I wouldn't know, man.
Because
maybe they do. Maybe they
Yeah.
do. All I know is that it's Final Cut Pro 10. And then they have Apple Motion, which is like equivalent, a watered down version of After Effects, from what I understand.
To this day, I still haven't met anyone that uses that, to be honest. Like personally, I have not met anyone.
Brandon Fountain, what's up, buddy? Glad to have you back on the chat. I know we didn't even put on social media that we were going live. We just went live because we're savages like that.
Just screw it. Just surprise.
Surprise. So it was an interesting day. It wasn't the best weather-wise. It wasn't a bright sunny day. It was a heavy overcast.
Yeah.
But I mean, the shot still came out really nice. You know what's funny, man? It's funny because I kept messing with you, telling you that you didn't know what you were doing, and but throughout the day, like I was shooting, and all the shots were looking really good, and we did have a. It's funny. Maybe I'll have another episode once I do more research on this HDR thing, right?
Yeah.
Both Joshua Martin and myself did not know, like, okay, I know how HDR works. I just did not fully understand the benefits of how, like, it can help me in my work.
Right.
So I did not know that my monitor, the Shogun Inferno, I knew it had HDR. I didn't know that it was activated when we were shooting.
Right.
So I didn't know that it was activated. I was looking at a HDR image, right? So the image looked nice, really nice.
That's great. Yeah.
But when I came back and I put it in Final Cut, this is all ProRes, by the way. When I put it in Final Cut, everything was highly overexposed.
Wow.
And
so you couldn't.
I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't shoot it like this.
Yeah, exactly. Like everything looked fine on the monitor. Yeah.
But ironically, that is a kind of like the stuff that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to. So a lot of the shots I purposely overexposed, but those are the shots that I couldn't recover.
Right, exactly.
So but I'm already way I'm already naturally way overexposed, but I'm looking at a very nice image in my monitor.
Right.
But internally and all that, I guess my sensor's looking at an extremely overexposed image. And when I went to purposely overexpose those are the ones that, remember I told you I brought everything back.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
That didn't work out.
It didn't work out. Yeah, definitely ProRes RAW has its limitations, but those limitations are extremely high.
Yeah.
It's a very high limitation. But like, if you just put it this way, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you by mistake overexposed to the shooting ProRes RAW and you cannot recover that, I suggest you find another career. Because if you overexpose that much,
it's like impossible to
like you have to really try to overexpose that.
No, I saw somebody. I'm only working with one little clip here, but it's not like it's one of the shots of we caught like a lady walking her dog down the sidewalk, and but it's nothing crazy overexposed. Like the skies that we were shooting, those were incredible. Like I think you made a little story of it and you posted it when you saw bring down the levels.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's just ridiculous.
Those were insane, man. Those were.
Now, here's what I want to know, and maybe I can do a little bit of research now that we're both here. So All right, I've seen the benefits of ProRes RAW with regard to exposure, and
Right.
mind you, it really only helps when you're overexposing but not underexposing. It doesn't really do anything
When you're underexposed,
when you're underexposed.
so you can't bring back shadows.
No, it
Interesting.
doesn't help. And actually, Mr. Cervatelli put out a good video on that over at Jersey Filmmaker YouTube channel. Check that out.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually comparing. He was comparing ProRes RAW. He was using the FS5 with the FS. I think it was like FS5 and comparing the ProRes RAW with Red's RAW,
Oh,
the
I saw he
R3D
posted something about
files.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he did. But I'm trying to. I want to know now. Okay, I think here I found what I was looking for. I'm here on newshooterwebsite.com. There are two variations of ProRes RAW. ProRes RAW is equivalent to ProRes 422HQ in terms of data rate.
Right.
I wonder if it's in terms of color. So ProRes RAW HQ is equivalent to ProRes 444XQ.
Right. In terms of data. Is that what it is?
Right. This one doesn't say in terms of data. The data rate of ProRes RAW HQ is just a fraction of the uncompressed 12-bit RAW. Both ProRes RAW and ProRes HQ achieve excellent preservation of raw video content with the additional quality available at the higher data rate of Apple ProRes.
I'm on the website. I'm trying to look for that link for that article.
Yeah, so I want to know, and maybe I won't know this until I do my own tests, but I want to know if it's the same thing as like 12-bit color, right?
That's interesting.
Because that is very attractive, and it's funny because I haven't even researched that yet. It says ProRes RAW data rates benefit from encoding Bayer pattern images that consist of only one super value. Apple ProRes RAW data rates generally fall between those of but see, we're talking about data rates. I don't.
Right. I think I mean, we'd have to do like a solid test, and I mean, we would even test it out here on. I'm not too familiar with the color tools in Final Cut, but I'm pretty sure we can start pushing
until we figure that out. Like,
yeah,
it sucks. I think we're gonna have to do that when it comes to Premiere. I'm not very experienced at all with Final Cut.
But I think it'll just be a matter of like just pushing saturation, you know, see how far it goes before it breaks, and compare it to an actual like 10-bit like file, and see how far it goes before it breaks, you know. And I mean, I think that's a good like non-scientific test to compare, you know, to see if it really how high of a bit rate it really is.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. I think that would be a very, very, very good test.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because you can keep playing with exposure and stuff like we've been doing, but yeah, you don't really get a true sense of how far you can push color, you know.
Yeah, Brandon has a good idea. We should definitely use that with the color board. I actually have a color checker, one of those little wallet size color checker board thingy.
Passports thing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
we should definitely do that.
Yeah, next time.
Thank you, Big B. But yeah, that was I love shooting with that setup, the FS5, with the Shogun Inferno on top. But yeah, I just want to see like exactly what the color difference is. Like,
yeah, I'm like cranking saturation now on this shot. Let me see if I could just share my.
Are you playing with it now?
Yeah, it's just the one shot, but
yeah, share your screen.
My screen here really quick.
Matter of fact,
okay, so
I have the other shots, so I can go ahead and
So I mean, you can see the just overall like saturation boost with the dog. It can't push too much. I'm like, I mean, I don't know how to calculate this with percentage in Final Cut. I'm at 1.51 saturation boost, and look, it's like breaking apart the dog, the orange. He's gone.
Right.
It's crazy. So yeah, there's not much latitude with the color. So I don't know.
Are you sharing your screen?
Am I not? Oh, I didn't actually hit share. There you go.
There you go.
I thought I was
so you're just talking, and we're all like, well, "What's he talking about?"
Sorry about that. But yeah, so take a look. I'm not pushing much on the saturation, and it's already losing detail.
Really?
Look at that. And there's not much, like, it's
Hold
already.
Hold on a sec. Are you set to wide gamma HDR?
Oh, that's right. That's the trick, right?
Ah.
How do you set that here? Final Cut, man.
So, all right. I think you have to go over to your library. We both sound like a couple of idiots here.
Yes.
You have to go to your library, I think, and then go hit modify.
Where it's the library.
Okay.
I've never touched Final Cut. This is the worst thing ever. No offense to you Final Cut users. I just Premiere all the way.
No, high offense to you Final Cut users.
In fact, I commend you guys.
We don't apologize on this show.
Library.
Look, I'm gonna have to.
No, show me on your end. And
I don't even know if I'm using the right terminologies here. Oh gosh, Final Cut users. All right, I'm gonna have to share my screen for 2 seconds. All right, here we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So right here, make sure that this little on the top right, it's your little browser icon browser. Click on that so that this shows up here. Right?
Oh, okay, got it.
And now your library should be like the highest outermost tab.
Right.
So with that clicked, go all the way to the right and hit modify. You see modify here?
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Hit modify and go from standard to wide gamut HDR. And that should do it.
Okay, let's try that one more time.
Now try that whole saturation thing.
All right, let's try to.
Oops, I gotta stop sharing here.
Let's reset everything. Reset. Okay, let's pull down some highlights. Or just overall.
Yeah, just do the overall.
Yeah. All right, overall. Bring the shadows back. Okay, that's fine for now. So saturation. Yeah, it's not much.
Bring down the master exposure. That's
pretty like much all the way down right there.
No. You can keep going down.
Down. Oh, really? Oh, Final Cut. You tricky thing.
Yeah, you can keep going down.
Yeah, I mean, any further down, it's just ugly. So
no, that's not working properly.
It's not.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Let's try it again.
That's weird.
Anyways,
yeah. I don't want to spend too much time with the visuals here since this is a podcast. Most people will not be looking at what we're doing here.
True that.
Unless they're on YouTube, which they should be. So let's talk about this new camera that was just released. Look, I gotta stop. I gotta stop looking at. It's funny. I put up a post. I put up a post talking about how B&H is gonna make me go broke.
Oh yeah,
because I see B&H cookies everywhere I go.
Dude, it's like every little banner on every little browser I open, it's like either them or Adorama.
It's them versus us.
Yeah, and they're winning.
Jeez,
dude, no, it's scary. Like I'm like excited about picking up this GH5 or 5S. I still haven't really decided, but yeah, we gotta talk about that. And but then now I just keep seeing more ads for the Blackmagic 4K Pocket Cinema, and I'm just like, oh god, maybe I should just wait, or should I just pick up both?
All right, so let's talk about a couple of these cameras, but then we should get into how you have to go about making that decision.
Yeah,
right. Let's do that. So let's talk about this quick camera here. This is a Sony RX100 6.
Yes,
it looks really, really nice.
It does, like, nice and tiny.
Really, really nice. So for those of you that don't know, the Sony RX100 line is a very, very popular line among vloggers. So a lot of vloggers love this camera, and so Sony has just announced the latest version of this entire line. So it's the RX 106 version. Apparently, it's not on B&H yet. Or
Yeah, I don't think it's. I think it was it for pre-order? I don't know if it's already.
oh, I put RX6, RX 100.
Yeah, 6.
All right, here it is. Yes, here we go.
It's for sale already.
So just real quick, this is a Sony camera, right? It's really nice. The lens is not interchangeable, and it's essentially it is a point and shoot. This is a point and shoot camera. You do not change the lens. So it shoots 4K 30 frames at up to 30 frames per second. Oh, at 30 frames per second. I don't see a 24. I wonder if it doesn't shoot 4K at 24.
I can't see why it wouldn't.
Huh. It has the lens doesn't change. It's a 2.8 to 4.5 Zeiss glass on there.
Nice.
And it has a zoom range of 24 to 200.
Yeah, it's a beast. It's a beast of a zoom.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Has S-Log 3, hybrid log gamma as well, high frame rate mode, full HD video. Whoa. Full HD video up to 960 frames per second. That can't be right.
That's insane. I had read that somewhere, but I also was skeptical. I'm like, wait.
I saw what's his name? The guy that used to do Digital Rev.
The
guy from Chinese guy from London.
Oh, I always forget his name. Skinny dude, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I saw his, I guess, first impressions when he took out the camera.
Mm-hmm.
He basically I saw the 960. It did not look good at all, but I would never have guessed that that's full HD. I thought that was like standard def or something.
Really? What's it crack down like the bit rate like that, the data rate that much?
Something was happening there, man, because there's no way that was full HD, or it was just a horrible compression, like so much compression on that. But anyways, the slow motion, I mean, yeah, 960. But anyways,
it does do 4K at 24 as well. I'm looking at it now on the B&H specs. Yeah.
Okay, so it does 4K at 24. Now, the image quality looks terrific. It looks really, really nice. So this is a really good potential vlogging camera. Now, here's what I don't like about it. It doesn't have, you cannot put a microphone on it. So you have to rely on the internal mic, which is not bad.
Right.
I heard it. It's not that bad. But yeah, I like good audio. So, but this is a good camera to just literally put in your pocket.
It's so tiny. Like I was just seeing this guy handle it. And I mean, it's totally made for vloggers. First of all, like the little camera that flips out that looks right at you. You know, you can flip it to look towards you while you're you know.
First
you're
of all, how the heck does that big old barrel of a lens fit in that tiny body?
It is insane.
It's almost like defies.
It's like Iron Man technology. Like, how do you pull out that giant?
What the heck? How does that huge barrel come out of there?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
Don't ask me the mechanics.
But the images are really nice, though. It has relatively good shallow depth.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp too. I mean, colors look fine. I mean, I'm looking at a pretty well exposed image.
It's just so ridiculous.
But look, if you look at the, have you seen the? Are you looking at the Cinema 5D article?
Oh, thanks, Bobby Hicks. His name is Kai.
There we go.
He's the reviewer. What about the Cinema 5D?
So I'm looking at there's an article here about that camera, and it's titled Sony RX106. Is it any good for vloggers?
Of course, it's good for vloggers.
Right. I mean, they're just, bait, but
Clickbait.
yeah. So they have a shot of HD of a shot of 250 frames per second in HD, upscaled to match the 4K timeline, and it looks pretty okay. Like it looks pretty good. It's not the sharpest thing in the world. You can tell it's upscaled,
Yeah.
but for the slow motion, it's not bad.
The cool thing about this though is that they're now Sony is releasing it with a handle, a proprietary Sony handle that like it's kind of like a selfie stick,
Right.
kind of sort of, but it doesn't extend. It's like a stub there that you can hang on to, but it has the record button and zoom in and out function right on your thumb.
Oh, I didn't see
so
that.
that's
Cool.
pretty interesting. So if you see that on the Cinema 5D website, the first picture you see the guy holding it to himself, that's that handle.
Right.
Imagine there, right there where his thumb is, like that's in the front, actually just under the lens. It's like a record button with a
interesting
with the zoom in and out function there. Oh, look, if you look a couple pictures down, you can see it.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I see it. It's like right on top. Nice. That's really cool.
Yeah, and I believe that comes sold separately.
But it's
like $100, I believe.
Yeah, $100. I see it there. But man, I mean, don't get me wrong.
I mean, they're catering to the market.
It's good quality, but I wasn't expecting it to cost $1,200, you know?
Yeah.
For such a tiny camera. Now the question is like, you know, vloggers out there like to do the whole, and I'm gonna be guilty of this too eventually. You know, the sexy B-roll, you know, the Peter McKinnon style B-roll. Would that be sufficient enough? Because you have, I mean, I guess you got the zoom in on it, but it's like, would you?
I think you can do more with less.
Right.
I think this is definitely sufficient. I'm just not a fan of one lens, and I'm not a fan of the.
That's what I'm saying. Like the
variable exposure when I zoom in and out. I cannot stand that. I will not. I refuse.
No.
But if you want something that is very compact, this is a really good option. But remember, this is a 6. You can always go back and get the other ones.
True.
All right. So what other cameras? You said you were looking into the into
the GH5. Actually, initially I was looking to the GH5S, but now I'm still like, I'm just getting torn between the 5 and the 5S.
I think I'm going to be stuck getting both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have to go mess around and get the GH5S also to match with my GH5.
If you get it before me, we got to compare so I can make my decision. So, you know what? Go get it.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, man. Initially, my first one that I was going to get was the GH5S. Sorry.
Okay.
S. Right. But I had to be very realistic with myself. I know how I shoot. I know that I'm extremely always handheld.
Right.
Like I would say like 80% of the time I'm shooting handheld.
Yeah.
And so that IS was so important to me, you know?
Exactly.
And so that was literally the only determining factor for me between those two cameras.
Right. No, and that's what I'm torn about.
Yeah.
I keep asking myself, like, am I gonna regret it once I get the 5S and I see that I can't stabilize as nicely, you know? That's what I'm torn about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, I know myself. I'm one that, I mean, I'm not gonna have a need for it right away to just set up a tripod and start shooting only on tripod, or I mean, I have a CU crane, but I'm, you know, it's like setting it up on a CU crane, balancing it out. It's like,
and that's essentially what I plan to do with it, man, because I'm being more and more realistic with myself. The way that I shoot, my style of shooting, realistically, I love my FS5 rigged out to shoot ProRes RAW, but oftentimes a rig that big is not required, you know?
Right.
Most of the time, I would even say I do get hired for bigger jobs, and yes, I do use that rig for sure.
Of course.
But most of the time, everything I can do, man, I can do the same or even better, and I can work so much more efficient with my GH5.
Right.
And I'm definitely looking forward to that the Atomos Ninja V.
Yeah.
But then, you know, that's what you really want. And I love colors. But the difference is not that much. GH5S does have better colors, definitely.
Yeah, I know. I got to see a few more comparison
And
videos.
it's noticeable. It's noticeable. That being said, it's only noticeable when you put them side by side, because I don't see it. Like every time I look at my GH5 footage, wow.
Yeah, of
like,
course, it looks great.
I fall in love all over again.
I've seen people shoot amazing stuff on the GH5. I have a buddy
absolutely
who's real I've seen that just
here's another reason why I went with the GH5. Again, it was the IS really. But I have two Sigma art lenses, one 18-35, 50-100, and now they're both completely usable in my hands.
Right.
So it just gave me so much value to have that IS. But I mean, in my situation, to me, it's like I will be getting the GH5S.
Right.
So my decision was really, which one do I want first? You know.
Now let me ask you, why would you want both in your case? Like, what's your case? What's your thing that calls you to?
A couple reasons. I do like the idea of starting to do two-angle shoots again, like with my interviews.
Gotcha.
I want to have I want to be able to do camera shoots without compromising like difference in colors and stuff.
Right.
And another reason, I do plan to get a handheld gimbal. Like, I know I have the G1, but I kind of want something a little more sturdy. So either the G2 or the DJI,
the Ronin S.
I'm sorry, yeah, the Ronin S or the Xinyu Crane 2, one of those. I do want my second camera to be on standby. So while I'm shooting handheld, that one's on, and it'll probably be the GH5S on standby, since it doesn't have the IS. The IBIS really.
Right.
But that'll be on standby. And just grab and shoot, you know. It'll be on its stand and balanced out, ready to go.
Right. No, that makes sense. Now I'm curious, like, I want to compare the GH5S to another camera that doesn't have IBIS, and see if it's any worse than, you know, a camera that doesn't have IBIS. Compare it to a similar camera. You know,
it doesn't compare.
No, but to a camera that doesn't have IBIS, like, get the GH5S that doesn't have IBIS and compare it to another camera that doesn't have IBIS to see if even then it's better somewhat, you know, like, just overall, like, I'm pretty sure the quality is gonna be better, but like, because people are touting it because they're like, oh, the GH5S is so bad because it doesn't have, you know, IBIS, and it's so shaky. But you're comparing it to a camera that has incredible IBIS, you know, like it's just out of this world. So it's like, gotta compare it to a camera very similar, you know, that doesn't have IBIS as well. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. You're misunderstanding me. I'm gonna get them both.
No. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking people up in general.
Okay.
And that's why I want to see that comparison, because I feel like people are touting it, like, are throwing it, you know, are kicking it, just throwing it away because of that comparison. Like, you're comparing it to
the GH5S.
Yes, like
oh no, it's a completely different camera.
Right?
It's not meant to be like, obviously.
But that's
like,
that's what I feel like people don't understand. Like,
I have to like look.
No,
I gotta admit, I was absolutely like, I was turned off when the GH5S came out.
Right.
And if you go back to the episode where we spoke about it, I was like, man, they made a big mistake. They should have never done that. Why would they take out the IBIS?
Right, I remember.
But I had it all wrong. It's not supposed to replace the GH5. It's supposed to be a different kind of camera for different kinds of needs. And you know, and obviously, I gotta stop doing that. I talk too fast. I state my opinion before I do my research sometimes, so you guys gotta bear with me on that. But man, like, it's definitely a different kind of camera. And and it's definitely beneficial to have them both.
Yeah.
You know, but and that's my opinion. It's not meant to be compared with each other, obviously.
Right.
Um, they had to make room. Like the GH5S has a bigger sensor, like
Right.
significantly
Yeah.
bigger sensor. It actually has a much bigger sensor than the your standard Micro Four Thirds.
Right.
It has a wider image,
Mhm.
but that's a result of removing the
Yeah, the
ibis.
ibis. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a completely different kind of. I think it's more meant for like to be placed on sticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's meant for like production, where the GH5 is meant for more run and gun style
Yeah.
shooting, like guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah.
So like kind of what I do, which is why I was drawn to it. So
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man.
So yeah,
I feel like I gotta get my hands on both and test them.
oh definitely.
Just test them together, because I mean
So
I've already played around with GH5, but so I gotta get my hands on the 5S.
so Kano from the Philippines is asking about the Blackmagic cinema camera 4K.
Yeah, same. I feel like I'm gonna end up buying that one too. We're stuck. They're winning. B&H is winning.
You guys are gonna make us go broke. I'm so skeptical about just Blackmagic in general.
No, I'm not.
I've heard some really bad things about their release dates and how they're constantly pushing those back.
I'm not.
I don't know. But that's irrelevant. Let's talk about something.
Maybe that stuff, but their product overall as a whole is.
Oh yeah, no, the Ursa Minis are probably their best cameras.
I work with the Ursa Mini at work. That's the one we use, and man, it's incredible. It's fire. The only thing is, I remember it being touted like when it came out, like, oh, it's much smaller, obviously, than the regular Ursa. It's a really light camera, this and that. And I remember just rigging that thing up with one V-mount battery and on just a little on its shoulder pad and everything, nothing else. And I'm like, this is not light whatsoever, dude. It's like, no, this is a lie. I was kind of disappointed at that, because I expected it to be light, but as soon as I took it out of the box, I'm like, nope. I'm like, no, dude. I shot a job with another Ursa Mini, and I was just like, it was all handheld, right? I was doing a bunch of shots. Like, I had it on sticks, but then I went in and got shots handheld, and I was just like, it was exhausting, dude.
Oh my gosh,
like, it was uncomfortable. But
it's not meant.
It's sometimes it's not meant for that. But it's sometimes, this is what I'm saying about Blackmagic. My whole point was that, yeah, sometimes they over embellish, and it's like, okay, like tone it back a bit, because it's not as crazy as you're making it seem. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the raw recording in that little form factor is very attractive,
dude.
But again,
that sells me.
That's a completely different market, I think. It's definitely a completely different camera. It's not I don't even think it should be compared to the GH5 or the A7S Mark II. It's a completely different camera.
Yeah.
This is a camera that, like, for you enjoy color grading a lot, and you love to have that depth. This is a camera that's going to be much more affordable for someone like you that is not looking to get a GH5, because you're not huge in production, but you do little projects here and there, and you want to take advantage of color and space and all that stuff. This is a camera I think that you would really enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, do I hold out for? Actually, I can't say hold out for a few more months, because who knows how long it's going to be like available for purchase after those pre-orders, But because I'm be waiting for the rest of the year, who knows? So I mean, I still think I'm definitely going to pick up one of the GH5s, and then down the line, this little guy, just because this little guy attracts me so much, man. But yeah, I'm definitely going to wait and hear people's reviews and what they think, and footage and whatnot.
So it looks like Kano is going to, from the Philippines, is going to be getting that.
Yeah.
The camera.
Pre-order?
Yeah. Nice. And Brandon says he'll be borrowing it from his friends.
Yeah, I think I might do the same before I purchase it. That's
Uh,
funny.
Here, I just see something. He has a bad feeling.
A lot of people do. Don't worry.
So Bobby Hicks just wrote something here in the chat. Says for $1,300, which is the Blackmagic cinema camera, it says it's worth having the 10-bit RAW. I thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be 12-bit RAW.
No, I think it was. No, let's look it up. Pretty sure it's 10.
Is it 10-bit?
Yeah, let's check it out.
What? I have 10-bit.
For 30 stops. Where am I reading? Let me see. I'm gonna have to look at.
But you'll have 10-bit options as well, no? Yeah, maybe. I think if you're shooting ProRes, Bobby, um, I think it was 444 for 12-bit, but yeah, I do believe that internally you'll be able to do ProRes in that 422 ProRes internal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. The thing is, this is the thing about this camera. I don't think they ever mentioned once in their press releases or even at NAB. I don't think in all the coverage I heard and read, they never mentioned whether it was 10-bit or 12 or even if it was 10-bit at all. I never read any of it either. So I'm like, they left that out. I'm thinking, did they leave that out on purpose?
All right, so I'm looking here, internal recording specs on the camera. It's Cinema DNG.
It's for the RAW.
That's the raw recording. It's from 24 frames to 60 frames per second. 270 megabits per second? That doesn't sound like raw. That sounds like it's highly compressed.
That might be just one frame.
No.
One Cinema DNG file.
That's crazy.
No, I know they're pretty heavy.
It might be megabytes per second.
Where are you reading it?
At the internal recording specs of the Blackmagic.
From what website? I'm on the Blackmagic website.
I'm on B&H. And then it also has ProRes 422 HQ 4K at from 24 to 60 frames per second at 110 megabits per second, or megabytes per second, maybe. Then ProRes 422, LT, proxy, all that good stuff. Well, anyways,
yeah,
I definitely don't plan to get it. But
someone's gonna convince you otherwise. Watch. Someone's gonna convince you otherwise. Watch. No, but honestly, I mean, I think I agree with you for you. I don't see you buying this one either.
Yeah, no, I'm running gun, man. And you know what? The one of the biggest things that has really spoiled me about the GH5 is the swivel LCD, man.
Yeah, that's another thing. When I look at this,
if I do go back to anything, it would be to basically the half swivel LCD that the Sonys have.
Yeah. But I take those.
But there's no way. I don't know how I can go back to not even a LCD that doesn't even pop out.
Yeah.
That's really hard for different angles.
No, but I was thinking about this today. I was thinking about the same thing, and I was just thinking, I'm like, even if I got this camera, I know the screen thing would bug me if I couldn't rotate it or see any other angle. So I mean, like, I'll end up picking up another monitor just as well. It's because, man, it's just insane.
And I want to go back to something that I had mentioned earlier. You had asked me, what's the point of having two cameras? And a couple of my reasons, actually, I missed a reason here, a very important one too. I did say I wanted multiple camera angles during interviews, just to have that option. But another thing is also the low light, to have like a small backpack with me with my backup camera, or just another camera that it's better in low light,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Like
and
that's something
was
that's
the
like at
no,
that
sorry, go ahead.
price is awesome.
Yeah, no, of course, I completely agree, and that was the first thing about the GH5S that attracted me. That was like, okay, I'm going for that one.
Mhm.
I could totally give up the IBIS just for this because this is so useful for many reasons. Just the whole low light, dual native ISO, but then slowly I just kept thinking about it, and it started creeping up on me. I'm like, am I making the right choice? I'm like, I might be backwards here. I might have to give up the low light for the stabilization. Like, so I just kept thinking. So that's why I'm still torn. I'm like,
Just get them both.
oh yeah. Let me just
listen. If you're getting work, they'll pay for themselves.
I agree.
You know what? And I'm slacking, man. I still haven't picked up the audio unit, which I absolutely need
Really?
for that goes on a hot shoe mount.
Yeah, a big box. I wish they made this thing smaller, man.
Huh? Would be nice.
It's just the aesthetic. I'm just like picky about that. That's just me.
Yeah, man. So that's where we're at. Like, so what other cameras like whether you want to shoot sports, whether you want to shoot documentary, whether you want to do some filmmaking, there are so many different kinds of cameras, so many different kinds of options, so many different kinds of features that each camera distinctively have.
Yeah.
There's a reason why, and there's and I don't want to say this without even checking, but there's a reason why some cameras are not compared to others, because they're just completely different types of cameras. Like if you're a basketball fan, it's like you saying, who do you have on a one-on-one, Shaq or Kobe? Like, those are two completely different kinds of players.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what you're looking at. So you have to really know. And when it comes to you picking your camera, you have to pick what's best for you. And I've had experience on both ends of the spectrum. I know what it's like to go on a documentary shoot on a super stripped down guerrilla style filmmaking documentary, trying to lug around my FS5, which stripped down, it's actually easy, but the internal recording of that camera is horrendous. I'm sorry, it's atrocious. Compared to like,
so you need your monitor. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
No way around it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, I would not, like, if it's for internal shooting only, never.
Yeah.
I would not. If it's up to me, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm actually shooting a wedding on Friday, and I'm kind of forced to use it because the team that I'm shooting with, they're all shooting Sony, so they're requesting both my Sony cameras.
Right.
Internal, I think, just 4K internal.
Yeah.
I'll give them what they want, but that wouldn't be my choice,
Yeah, no, you totally go for the GH5 in that case, man. It's so much easier,
Right, exactly. And for a wedding, it would probably be the GH5S. So for the low light,
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe at nighttime, like during the day for the natural light stuff, which would look nice, it's still going to be all handheld.
Right.
Like,
and to be honest, like, and it's back to your point, it's like, and I completely agree with everything you're saying. It's just, when we start picking apart features, you're no longer trying to decide between two cameras. You're just being picky about features, little things. And overall, it's just in the whole scheme of things, it's how you use it, So it's
exactly,
it's up to you, and it's up to you to learn how to get the best out of it with whatever limitations it has. So yeah,
and you know what? With that same, like, I guess, mentality or approach when it comes to buying your camera, the same approach has to be taken with the rest of your gear. Especially your lenses.
Yeah.
Like, for me, you'll notice I think I have one prime lens, which is actually on my A6300 right now as we record this episode, which is shooting me right now. I got that 20 prime just for traveling. When I went to DC, it was my vacation. I noticed I had the 16 to 50 or 16 to 55 kit lens that this camera came with, which sucks like crazy. but it gave me a little bit of range. But I noticed that basically that whole trip I shot everything at 16 wide, which, you know, it was whatever, but in low light it sucked.
Yeah.
So I decided, you know, I wanted to shoot wide because I wanted to get everything. I wanted to capture everything wherever I was.
Right.
It was mostly like I barely ever got close-ups of anything. So I decided that, you know, I want a good wide lens for this reason, something flat. So that's why I ended up getting the 20 prime 2.8, better in low light. And so that's why, like, that's the only prime I have. Most of my lenses are all zooms. You know,
Right. Yeah.
I have my 24 to 105, which is my general zoom. If I cannot have any other lens, that's the one I'm picking up. And then I have this 18 to 35 and 50 to 100, both f1.8 Sigma art lenses.
Right.
They're really, really nice and sharp. I'm so in love with those lenses.
No, yeah, lenses is a topic. I mean, for now, I have to settle to hold on to the lenses I just, you know, to use the lenses I have right now. But it's definitely something I'm already looking forward, you know, just starting to pick them for, you know, for the next purchase, because it's not like, I mean, I can't purchase them right now just financially, but it's definitely the next big purchase after the camera itself. But yeah, so one of the reasons I want to try to get that camera soon is because I'm going on a camping trip to Yosemite in July, and
come on,
and I want to document that, and that's why we were talking about it earlier before we got on the air, and like I wanted to sort of do like my first vlog there, you know, and just sort of document the whole thing. And I have my current lenses. So for just to as background, I guess for everyone, I'm doing a trade-in through Adorama for the GH5. I'm still waiting for my evaluation, but I traded a few pieces of gear, and I'm just left right now with one my old Tamron 17 of 50, which is an EF mount, and my two.
Is that a 2.8?
It was a 2.8, yeah.
Okay.
It's a 2.8 static, and then my Panasonic lenses that I had on my GX7, which is also Micro Four Thirds. So this one right here, I don't know if you can see it. This is the tiny Pancake 20 millimeter that I'll probably be taking just by itself to that trip. Okay. It's super light, and it's a 20. What is it? It's 2 point something. Hold on, I completely forgot what it was. Well, whatever. And you were talking about shooting wide. I'm like, I definitely got to take the widest lens I got over there, because I'm shooting national parks, you know, so
yeah, you definitely want to get those wide shots.
And yeah, and it's such a light little lens. I'm like, I can't get rid of this little guy. It's so nice. Yeah, it's like it's gonna look so tiny on the camera, but whatever.
Yeah, vlogging is fun. Don't get me wrong, man. I love vlogging. It's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of time.
Oh no, dude,
you know, and I hate to like put myself in a position where I'm forced to either spend all this time editing, or, you know, I don't like to capture footage to just not use it. So that's why I kind of had to like step away from that. I think I definitely want to pick up vlogging soon, but on special occasions, not for everything. You know?
Right? No, I don't ever expect myself to become a daily vlogger like some of these YouTubers. You know? No way. I don't think I could do that. And I don't even find myself that interesting to be talking to a bunch of people every day. It's just like, come on, like I want to live my life too, you know?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think this was a great episode. We were kind of all over the place on this one.
I know.
We talked a little bit about ProRes RAW and our shoot over in Miami, in South Beach. And then we got into the whole, you know, how to find the right camera/gear for you. I hope this was a good one. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to everyone that joined us. Brandon, I appreciate that. He said I should definitely vlog, just show what I'm doing. Yeah, man, just like I said, it's just time consuming. It's a lot of time, and I just don't like to grab footage like that and not use it. But maybe I'll make more of an effort to use it. Just FYI, we are making headway on our Zion short documentary. you know, I'm trying to kind of definitely force myself to spend more time on that project with all the stuff that we have going on. It's been crazy difficult to keep that up. But anyways, I want to thank everyone that joined us live. You guys are definitely awesome. Thank you for sending in your opinions, your questions, and all that stuff, and kind of getting in this conversation. But yeah, appreciate that, Brendan. I'll look into that, talking about just doing raw edits. But yeah, for those of you that are listening to this episode on iTunes, make sure you catch us live. Go to our YouTube page, iFilmmaker Podcast, and make sure you get subscribed, because we are doing this live every now and then, and we would definitely love to have you guys join us live, get into the conversation, steer the conversation in a different direction. Give us different topics to talk about, because I could talk about this all day, all week. Like, it's just nonstop. Gear. I'm definitely one of the biggest gearheads. I buy things just to buy them, and I don't use them. Like, I literally have like 5 lights that I don't use. And I bought them just because they were cool. And I don't know why I do that.
I think you have a problem.
I gotta stop doing that.
Is there a filmmaker gear rehab? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Might have to be.
I think I'm gonna have to do that, man. Man, so awesome. Fernando, thanks for coming back on the podcast.
Problem,
we would definitely be doing this again. We got to get Joshua Martin up on this, in this place. He wanted to be with us, but unfortunately he's actually packing for a trip. But we'll have you on the next one, buddy. Mr. Cervatelli will probably be back with us soon, maybe on the next episode, I think, if he's not otherwise occupied, too busy, getting too big.
Don't get mad at that guy. Come on.
No, I will get mad at him. I hope
he hears this. He's going to come back. He's like, what?
Oh, I'm sure he is. All right, buddy. Well, thank you for everyone that joined us live. And Mr. Gomez.
Thank you, man.
We'll catch you on the next one.
See you
later.